Hi everyone. In this video we're going to look at how to construct a frequency histogram and a frequency polygon. And we'll also do a relative frequency histogram. And then later on in another video we will do the cumulative polygon or ogive. Now in a previous video we had constructed this frequency table for the Macintosh Auto data set, and these frequencies over here correspond to the profits made, and then we have our classes right here. So we did this in a previous video. So now we're going to construct a histogram that goes along with this frequency table. So to construct a histogram, all we have to do is highlight these frequencies right here and then select Insert and a 2D bar chart. Alright, now right there is our histogram. Now we need to clean it up a little bit. You notice the x-axis labels, we want to change those from 1 to 8. We want to change those to our classes right here. So to do that, just click on the chart. You see the chart tools appear. Click on Design and then select Data. Then we can change our horizontal axis labels. Just click Edit and then make sure the cursor's in the box here, and then just select these class labels right here. Click OK and OK again, and there you go. Now we have the class labels down here on the x-axis, and we can clean this chart up a little bit. First of all, let's modify these x-axis labels a little bit. So right click on them and do Format Axis. And then over here we have the sidebar appear again, and we're going to click on the text options and then the text box icon right here. And let's angle these labels a little bit so they fit a little better. We did that in a previous video also. And so there you go, that looks pretty good. Let's change the gap width of these bars. So just right click on one of the bars, Format Data Series again, and then you see if we have the bar icon selected, we will change the gap width to 10%. And there we go. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then, we can change the chart title here to, and there you go. We have created a histogram for the Macintosh Auto sale profits. Now let's create a relative frequency histogram, and we'll see that the relative frequency histogram looks exactly like the frequency histogram, except the y-axis labels will be percents instead of frequencies. So to create our relative frequency histogram, it's the exact same procedure, except we go over here and we highlight the relative frequencies, and we select Insert, and we want a 2D histogram. And there it is. There is our relative frequency histogram. We can clean this up a little bit. Let's change our x-axis labels. Just click on the chart somewhere. Select Data. Edit the horizontal axis labels. And we are going to use the class labels here. And then we can change the gap width here. And there we go. Here's our relative frequency histogram. So if you compare it to the frequency histogram, you see it looks exactly the same, except for the y-axis labels are different. Make those a little bit smaller. And you see they look exactly the same, except for the relative frequency histogram. The y-axis has the percents instead of the frequencies as we have over here. So for example, In the first class, $200 to $799 in profit. The relative frequency was 10%. So 10% of all sales generated profits between $200 and $799. And we see that's the height of this bar right here. All right, now let's create a frequency polygon. Now a frequency polygon, basically we take our histogram like this and we do the following. I'm just going to draw it graphically and then I'll show you how to create one using Excel. So for a frequency polygon, what we basically do is we take the midpoint of each bar on our frequency histogram and we connect them with straight lines like this. And then at the ends we want to drop them down to the x-axis in some manner. And this is what our frequency polygon is going to look like, minus the bars, of course. We get rid of the bars. And so this is going to be our frequency polygon. The nice thing about a frequency polygon is that you can put two polygons on top of each other so you can see through them in order to compare two data sets. You really can't do that with a histogram because the bars block each other. So let's create this red frequency polygon that I have here using Excel. Now we're going to use the frequency column here, but we're going to need to add a row above and below the data values that we have here. So let's just copy and paste these values somewhere else in our spreadsheet to work with them. So I'm just going to copy them. Click Control C to copy. Now I'm going to just move somewhere down here in my sheet. Let's put them right below right here. Now to paste them, since these are formula references, I'm going to right click and then paste as values right there. So you see the clipboard with the numbers 1, 2, 3. There you go. So now they're pasted as numbers and not formulas. Now I'm going to add the number 0 right above the 20 and a 0 right below the 18. That will drop the frequency polygon down onto the x-axis. Now we're going to want the class midpoints on the x-axis. So starting right here, I'm going to put the class midpoint for the frequency corresponding to 20. Now the class midpoint is the average of these two numbers right here for the first class. So we're going to just do this by typing equals, parenthesis, cell H2, that's the 200, plus what's in cell I2, and then divide that by 2. Okay, now that's our class midpoint. Copy that down. And there we go. Now we're going to put a number right here and right here. So let's just, let's see, these differ by 600. So this cell right here, I'm going to want 4,699.5 plus 600. So let's put that value right here. Let's see, that's going to be, that's cell J20 plus 600. Okay. And then right up here, this is going to be what is in cell J13 minus 600, the class width. All right. Now what we can do is highlight these values right here, including the zeros. So these were our frequencies. Go up to Insert, and we want to insert, you see this icon right here. Click on the line chart, and we want a 2D line chart with line markers. So click on that one, and right there is our frequency polygon. Now we do need to edit the x-axis here. We want these values on the x-axis to be these values right here. So we just simply click on the chart, go up to chart design if it's not already highlighted here, and then select data. And we want to change the horizontal axis labels. So we click on edit. Make sure your cursor is in the little box here. Highlight these values here. Hit OK. And there we go. Now we can make this look a little nicer by angling these labels right here. So if we just right click on the x-axis, format axis, and then let's see, we can go under text options. We've done this before. Click on the little icon right here to the right, and then we can change the angle for those numbers. There we go. That makes it look a little bit better. And then of course you can add your X and Y axis labels by clicking on the chart and selecting chart design, add chart element, axis titles. And there we go. We have our nice frequency polygon. You can change the chart title if you like. One other thing I might mention is sometimes it's nice to round the numbers on the x-axis. So instead of having 499.5, 1099.5, it might be nice to round those. So you can simply format those cells by highlighting them, right click, and then select Format Cells right here, and then select number, and then just how many decimal places you want displayed. And there you go. Now the numbers are rounded. And of course you can also create a relative frequency polygon just by using the percents instead of the frequencies. See, you can just use your relative frequencies here in this column right here, and then you have a relative frequency polygon. And so that concludes this video on constructing histograms and frequency polygons.